What should be Parliament's New Year's resolution?
It's a great question. I think one of the things Parliament really needs to do is figure out how to really better serve Canadians. I find a lot of the gesturing is like, how do we communicate and work together, all the different political parties? I think there's been a lot of political parties that have really just been making a lot of noise, and that right across the spectrum for all the parties, rather than really trying to get the hard work done and represent Canadians' best interests.
It has to be finances. It has to be looking at the budgets and unfortunately balancing the budgets. People sit back, and I listened to your show a few weeks ago, and people were asking about defense budgets, right? Should we increase defense budgets? We don't come close to meeting our commitments to NATO, yet there's wars going on in the world.
I think housing should be number one. I think a lot of young people right now, they don't have a place to go. I think it's going to be a drain on the whole system, and people aren't trying to see to the next step because they have no options. There's not really any purpose in doing so. I think that should be the focus right now.
Unsheltered. Unsheltered, cleaning up the unsheltered. Helping with the mental health on the street, yeah.
I'd say the cost of living, rentals, and the unsheltered as well.
I think the New Year's resolution should be to continue to promote and ensure we have a universal healthcare system and really expand that to include healthcare, and you had another one, dental care.
Well, I said addictions, mental health and addictions, but I think actually in the midst of COVID, there was such a priority on the physical health, but I don't know that there was as much of a priority on the mental health space, and I think that needs to be made a priority now, considering the kind of longer impact of COVID.
Well, I believe that the New Year's resolution for the parliamentarians should be learning how to get along with each other, period.
Look into the health care in British Columbia, I would think.
Yeah, I would definitely say that for sure.
It could use a little bit of tweaking.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
To behave themselves, because they misbehave a lot, like spoiled children. But that's what happens when you're in power. People think they can get away with anything.
Probably to focus on affordable housing, getting people rentals that they can actually rent on a minimum wage.
To get Canada back on track and lower the deficit. My grandkids are going to be paying for this huge deficit, and they shouldn't have to be. It should be balanced. Like Trudeau's got to get his act together, draw in the drawstrings. Like, come on, it's way out of control,
I think they should focus their efforts on a variety of things, in particular the housing crisis in Canada.
Anything else?
Well, the healthcare system is something that's provincially bound, so I'm not sure the feds can help as much there other than more money, and I'm not sure that's going to solve our problem. And in terms of inflation, I think the Bank of Canada has done a wonderful job over the last 3 years in bringing inflation down to 3%. So I think they've done, it's popular to severely criticize our federal government, and there are lots of things they can probably do better, but they do some things well as in addition. So I think they've done a good job with inflation so far, but the housing crisis needs to be addressed.
Oh, gosh. There are so many. Where would I start? How about fiscal responsibility for a change? How about, some international aid for some of these conflicts around the world? I think that the economy is going to be challenged this year, so I think that they need to pay attention to some of the economic policy they have, and the list goes on and on.
Ooh, that's a good one. I think, the government needs to tighten their belt a bit. I think this country needs a bit of austerity in what we spend, and we need to look at how we can cut back on costs without cutting back on social programs. So I think there's a lot of frivolous things that the government spends their money on that maybe we could rein in, so that the money we are spending is better used on social programs for us here and for international aid, and I think we need to maybe concentrate a little more on what we're spending it on and cut a little of the fat there.
Stop handing out cash, which is going to stop the depreciation in our dollar and put people back to work.
Nothing against immigrants, but we have all these people they're bringing in. We can't look after them.
We don't have the health care for them. We don't have the housing for them. So it's, and it's not fair to bring those people in here. They're leaving a lot of cases, they're leaving poverty and stuff to come here expecting to do well, and then they ended up being held back because we can't look after them. I don't think that's right.